Have you ever wondered if the person you're getting involved with truly deserves your love and attention? Or if, behind the smile and sweet talk, there are toxic behaviors that could hurt you? Today, we're going to explore a topic many people avoid: how to identify if your crush is toxic and negatively affecting your life. In this video, I'm going to show you 9 signs you can't ignore. And believe me, recognizing these signs can make all the difference between a healthy relationship and a cycle of suffering. Stick with me until the end, because I'll share crucial tips to help protect your emotional well-being and make decisions that truly matter. So, if you've ever had doubts about your crush's behavior or fear being in a relationship that harms you, this video is for you. Let's get started. Have you ever had a crush who suddenly disappears without warning? It's like you're in a soap opera where, in one episode, everything seems perfect, and in the next, the person vanishes without a trace. This type of behavior is frustrating and confusing because the person may show intermittent interest, but when it comes to taking things further or committing, they simply disappear. And then you're left wondering, what happened? Did I do something wrong? This behavior is even harder to deal with because, often, the person shows signs of affection and attention that make you believe everything is going well. It could be a sweet message, an invitation to hang out, or even a sudden compliment that seems to indicate there's something more. But when you start to expect a response or a next step, they disappear without explanations, leaving you in doubt and frustration. The reason behind this behavior can vary, but it's usually linked to an inability to handle vulnerability. Some people struggle to face their own feelings and prefer to avoid the situation rather than confront the possibility of rejection or the fear of commitment. They might have a strong need to protect themselves emotionally, and when things start to get serious, they prefer to distance themselves rather than risk getting hurt or hurting someone else. On the other hand, there's also the fear of facing the responsibility that comes with commitment. The fear of what if can be paralyzing for many people. And when that happens, they choose the easiest solution: disappearing. It may be that, in this person's mind, avoiding confrontation is less painful than facing the need to make a decision or deal with the possibility of mutual rejection. But while the person hides in the comfort zone of disappearing, you're left in uncertainty, caught in a cycle of doubt and anxiety. This can make you feel undervalued and even question your own qualities and worth. Your self-esteem can take a hit, and the feeling of not knowing what to do or how to react can become emotionally exhausting. The most important thing to keep in mind is that you deserve more than emotional breadcrumbs. You deserve someone who, when interested, doesn't disappear. Someone who is willing to talk, clarify, and move forward in a relationship in a genuine way. That means someone who is ready to be honest about their feelings and communicate, even if it means facing a little discomfort. If you come across this type of person, it's important to recognize that, no matter what feelings you might have, being in a situation where you're left waiting is not healthy for you. It's a cycle that can cause more pain than happiness. Remember that a healthy relationship should be based on trust, clarity, and mutual respect. When you realize you're being treated inconsistently, that can be a sign that it's time to move on and invest in someone who is willing to walk alongside you with the same commitment and sincerity. Have you ever felt like you were the center of attention, but in a way that made you uncomfortable? The show-off crush is someone who loves to put on a display of their feelings in public, especially in front of friends, so that everyone knows how much they love or think you're special. At first glance, this might seem cute and romantic. After all, who doesn't like feeling like the center of attention and knowing someone is willing to show publicly how much they care? However, the problem starts to show when you realize that these displays of affection are used as a way to keep you around without any real intention of commitment. Maybe while they're among friends, your crush talks about how amazing you are or how happy they are to have you in their life. But when the situation shifts and it's just the two of you, that enthusiasm disappears. The sweet words and grand gestures give way to shallow conversations and distance. This behavior is often driven by ego. The show-off likes to feel admired and maintain an image of being loved or having a loyal admirer. But when it comes to private, meaningful moments where intimacy is needed to deepen the relationship, the behavior changes. The show-off isn't truly interested in getting to know you more deeply or building a genuine emotional connection. They just want to make sure everyone sees how important you are to them, reinforcing their own perception. It's a form of emotional manipulation disguised as a romantic gesture. This type of behavior can be emotionally damaging because it keeps you on an emotional roller coaster. You feel valued in public, but neglected in private. This creates a dynamic where you start to question whether you truly matter to this person or if you're just an accessory in a show. Sooner or later, you realize that you're not getting the reciprocity and attention you deserve. One of the biggest risks of this kind of relationship is that it can leave you stuck in a cycle of seeking validation. You start to wait for the moments when your crush shows affection in front of others, hoping for confirmation that you're important, but it never translates into real depth. Over time, you might start to lose confidence in yourself and your own perceptions, questioning whether your emotional needs are justified or exaggerated. The key to dealing with the show-off is to recognize that, while public gestures might seem nice, what truly matters are the actions that happen behind closed doors. It's essential to understand that a true relationship should be consistent and built on trust and genuine affection that exists away from the eyes of others. If you find yourself in a relationship where feelings are flaunted but real, intimate connection is minimal, it might be time to reconsider if this is the right person for you. A partner who values your company should want to show their love in an authentic and consistent way, not just in moments that bring social recognition. When you notice this, you can start to step back and seek someone who, instead of seeking applause, actually wants to build something real and lasting with you. Having a crush who makes jokes that humiliate others or goes overboard with teasing to the point that it makes you uncomfortable is a red flag you can't ignore. At first, these actions may seem harmless, a form of humor or an attempt to stand out in a group. But over time, you start to notice that these jokes are not just empty words. They're a display of a lack of empathy and respect for others' feelings. The bully has a way of communicating that focuses on highlighting others' weaknesses, often using sarcasm or irony to do so. Sometimes they may even make jokes that seem innocent but actually touch on sensitive topics for the person they're directed at. The problem is that, most of the time, these jokes aren't actually funny to the person being targeted and instead end up causing discomfort and embarrassment. But why would someone act this way? In many cases, this behavior is a reflection of self-esteem issues. People who struggle with their own insecurities may use humiliating others as a way to feel superior or to deflect attention from their own shortcomings. It may be a way to create a false sense of power or to feel accepted by a group. But the truth is, it's a harmful and immature approach to managing self-worth. And what's the danger in a relationship? If your crush treats others this way, there's a strong chance you could also become the target of degrading jokes and disrespectful comments. Over time, this can make you feel small, insecure, and even question your own dignity. The way someone treats others, especially in casual situations, can reveal a lot about how they'll treat you in a closer relationship. If this person lacks empathy and respect for others, it's likely that respect will be missing in your relationship as well. Additionally, this behavior can have a significant emotional impact on those who are targeted by the humiliation. Over time, the jokes can start to erode your confidence and self-esteem, making you feel diminished and even fearful of expressing your own feelings or opinions. The relationship becomes a constant battle to protect yourself from baseless criticism and comments that only serve to put others down. The key to dealing with a humbler is recognizing that respect should be the foundation of any relationship. If you notice that someone consistently makes jokes at your expense or behaves disrespectfully toward others, this is a sign that they may not be the right partner for you. In a healthy relationship, criticism should be constructive, and jokes should be made with care, without the intent to hurt or humiliate. Instead of accepting this type of behavior, it's important to set boundaries and make it clear that you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And if the person is unable to change this behavior, it might be time to reconsider whether it's worth continuing to invest in a relationship where respect is only superficial, and your emotional needs could end up being ignored. The bully crush is the one who seems to have an aggressive or dismissive attitude toward people around them, especially those in service roles like waiters, clerks, or anyone they see as below them in a social context. This can be a clear sign that the person lacks respect for others, and if you're not careful, this behavior can end up affecting how they treat you in a closer relationship. Have you ever noticed that during an outing, your crush talks harshly to a waiter, complains about any service with a tone of disdain, or makes mocking comments about how others behave? At first, it might seem like they're just blowing off steam or it's a form of humor to keep the conversation lively. But in reality, this type of attitude reveals a side of their personality that can be concerning. Disrespect and arrogance can be signs of an inflated ego, and someone who mistreats people who can't give back may end up treating you the same way when attention and consideration are no longer required. This is something to consider if you're in a relationship or thinking of getting involved with this person. If a crush behaves rudely towards strangers or people in lower positions, it could indicate that they have difficulty cultivating empathy and maintaining respectful behavior in different contexts. People who are disrespectful or rude to others often have trouble putting themselves in someone else's shoes and may have patterns of behavior that are hard to change. Now, imagine how this translates into a more intimate relationship. If someone habitually mistreats people who have no power or status, it means that you, someone they have a closer relationship with, could also become a target for disrespectful behavior, especially during moments of frustration or when things aren't going well. This type of behavior can lead to an emotionally toxic environment, where communication is marked by contempt and disregard, and the fear of criticism can make you feel insecure or even ashamed. The way someone treats others, especially those who can't give back, says a lot about their character. At first, it may be hard to see, especially if you're drawn to other aspects of the person, like their charm, looks, or qualities you value. But over time, it's important to be aware of these signs. A person who doesn't respect others won't be able to offer the same level of respect and care in a relationship. What should you do if you realize your crush has this type of behavior? First, observe how they interact with other people and how it makes you feel. If you feel that this behavior could impact your self-esteem or the way you're treated, it's time to question whether this relationship is worth it. Respect should be a fundamental part of any healthy relationship. If they aren't willing to change or treat others with consideration, it's a sign that you deserve someone who has more empathy and respect, and by extension, will be able to show that to you too. The unfaithful crush is the one who has a history of cheating or exhibits behaviors that indicate a lack of loyalty. Even though people can change, studies show that those who have been unfaithful in the past are more likely to repeat this behavior. If you know your crush has this history, it's important to consider the impact this could have on your trust and the health of the relationship. Red flags include a lack of transparency, excessive use of messaging apps, or behaviors that make you feel insecure. Infidelity reflects emotional immaturity and can lead to distrust and pain. For a healthy relationship, trust and loyalty are essential. If your crush shows no real changes or isn't honest, it's crucial to reconsider whether it's worth continuing to invest in the relationship. You deserve someone who provides emotional security and respect. The opportunist crush is the one who only seems interested in you when they need something. They constantly ask for favors, make requests without considering how draining it may be for you, and often don't reciprocate or show gratitude for what you do. This type of person sees that you're willing to help and takes advantage of your generosity to fulfill their own needs without thinking about how you feel. This behavior may seem harmless at first. Maybe they ask for help with something small or want you to join them for a task. But as time goes on, you start to realize that you're always giving, but never receiving anything in return. They might promise to help you with something or do something for you, but they don't follow through. This creates a cycle of unmet expectations, where you feel used and undervalued. The problem is that the opportunist knows how to manipulate situations so that you continue to feel needed by them. They may be charming and charismatic when they need something, but disappear when you need support or attention. This type of person is not just selfish, but can be emotionally damaging, making you feel like your willingness and generosity are undervalued. If you realize you're dealing with an opportunist, it's important to set clear boundaries and communicate your needs assertively. Balance in a relationship should be mutual. Both partners should support and help each other. If after trying to show that you need attention and support too, this person continues to act selfishly, it might be time to reassess whether this relationship is healthy. Remember, you deserve someone who values your presence and cares about you just as much as you care about them. Healthy relationships are based on respect and reciprocity, not exploitation. The isolating crush is someone who tries to control your relationships with friends and family, distancing you from those who matter to you. They may ask you to change your plans to spend more time with them or to cut ties with other people, claiming that they don't like them or that they're bad for you. At first, this may seem like a show of affection or a desire to spend more time together. But over time, this behavior reveals a concerning and abusive pattern of control. The attempt to isolate you from friends and family is one of the most subtle yet dangerous forms of emotional abuse. This behavior aims to create dependence, making you feel lost without their company. They may even use emotional manipulation to make you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with others or for maintaining your own friendships and family bonds. The problem is that this type of behavior limits your freedom and independence, which are essential for a healthy relationship. The person trying to isolate you may not realize they're crossing a line or may be doing it consciously to maintain control over you. Over time, this kind of behavior can lead to feelings of anxiety, low self-esteem, and even emotional dependence. It's important to recognize this behavior as a red flag. If you feel like you're losing your identity or that your personal relationships are being negatively impacted, it's a sign that the situation is unhealthy. In a relationship, it's essential to have the freedom to maintain your friendships and family connections. A person who loves and respects you not only accepts but encourages these bonds. If you notice your crush is trying to control your interactions or make you distance yourself from important people in your life, it's essential to have an honest conversation about it. If after that conversation they continue to act the same way, it might be time to consider whether you're in a relationship that respects your needs and freedom. You deserve a partner who supports you and makes you feel good about who you are, without needing to sacrifice those you love. Dealing with a crush who shows immature emotions can be one of the greatest challenges in a relationship. This type of person may act impulsively, struggle with criticism, or react excessively to situations that don't warrant such intense responses. Instead of approaching problems rationally and calmly, they might resort to dramatics, tantrums, or even emotional manipulation to get what they want or avoid dealing with their own insecurities. When you encounter someone who displays emotionally immature behaviors, it can be difficult to stay calm and find practical solutions to problems. This immaturity can show up in many ways, from disproportionate anger over small disagreements to an inability to express feelings in a clear and healthy way. For example, if you and your crush have an argument and they react with a tantrum or start making you feel guilty, it could indicate they haven't developed essential emotional skills for an adult relationship. The problem with immature emotions is that they can create an unstable and emotionally draining environment. In a relationship, you want someone who can communicate openly and honestly, handle conflicts constructively, and show empathy. If you're always dealing with exaggerated reactions and childish behavior, you may feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster, exhausting and often harmful to your mental health. Additionally, emotional immaturity can prevent the other person from offering the support and partnership you deserve. Healthy relationships require maturity to solve problems, take responsibility, and grow together. If your crush is still at a stage where everything is a drama and emotions take control, it may be hard to envision a future where the relationship is balanced and healthy. If you realize you're involved with someone emotionally immature, it's important to consider whether you have the patience and willingness to deal with it, and if it's worth investing in someone who doesn't have the capacity for a mature relationship. In some cases, an open conversation may help the person recognize the impact of their behavior and work on changes, but in others, it may be necessary to prioritize your emotional health and move on. Recognizing red flags in a relationship is essential to protect your emotional health and avoid entering a situation that could become toxic or harmful. Sometimes we hold on to someone because of a strong emotional connection or fear of being alone, which can make us ignore behaviors that clearly indicate something is wrong. Observing these signs or red flags is a crucial step to ensure you're in a healthy relationship. Behaviors such as disrespect, lack of empathy, emotional manipulation, excessive control, or an inability to have mature conversations are all warning signs that shouldn't be ignored. These behaviors may start subtly and intensify over time, making it difficult for you to realize how much they're affecting you until the situation has already escalated. The importance of recognizing these signs is to act before the situation becomes more serious. It can be difficult to make the decision to distance yourself from someone, especially if you still have feelings for them, but it's essential to remember that you deserve a relationship where you feel safe, valued, and respected. Sometimes, letting someone go is the best way to protect your mental and emotional health. Self-worth and self-compassion are important parts of this process. Recognizing the signs doesn't mean you've failed or that you didn't do your best. It means you're taking care of yourself and prioritizing your well-being. Self-love is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and when you acknowledge that you're in a situation that isn't beneficial to you, it's a sign of strength and self-care. It's natural to feel fear or sadness when realizing you need to distance yourself from someone who played an important role in your life, but know that, in the long run, you'll be opening yourself up to a more balanced emotional life and healthier relationships. Remember that we deserve to be with someone who helps us grow and treats us with the respect we deserve. Getting involved with a crush who displays toxic and harmful behaviors can lead to a destructive relationship, both for your mental and physical health. These kinds of relationships can start out appealing and even exciting, but over time, abusive or disrespectful behaviors begin to emerge and affect your well-being. The problem is that it's often hard to recognize this right away, especially if the person is charismatic or if you're emotionally invested in the relationship. Destructive relationships are characterized by patterns of behavior that bring more pain than happiness. This can include manipulation, devaluation, excessive jealousy, lack of respect, humiliation, social isolation, and even emotional or physical abuse. If you find yourself constantly worrying about what your crush thinks of you or feeling in a constant state of anxiety, it's a sign that something isn't right. Relationships should be a source of support and joy, not stress and suffering. An important aspect of avoiding these relationships is recognizing that you deserve a partner who treats you with respect and consideration. You should feel safe, valued, and accepted for who you are. If you find yourself constantly trying to adjust or overextending yourself to please, it could be a sign that the relationship isn't healthy. It's essential to learn to set boundaries and not accept behaviors that go against your values and emotional well-being. Saying no to a destructive relationship can be difficult, especially if you have feelings for the person or have already invested a lot emotionally. But remember that staying in a situation that harms you only prolongs the suffering. You deserve to be with someone who respects you, who is your partner and not a burden in your life. Sometimes it's better to walk away from a relationship that isn't working than to stay stuck in a cycle of disappointment and pain. If you find yourself dealing with someone who displays harmful behaviors and is unwilling to change, don't hesitate to distance yourself. While the process may be painful, it's an important step to protect your emotional health and make room for healthier and more balanced relationships. If you notice that you keep getting involved with people who exploit or disrespect you, it could be a sign that you need some time for yourself or even to consider therapy. Sometimes we get caught in toxic relationship patterns without understanding why we keep attracting them. It's natural to reflect on your choices at some point and realize that something needs to change so you can find a healthier, more fulfilling relationship. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for understanding what's happening and how you can change your patterns. Ask yourself, why do I choose to get involved with people who don't treat me well? It could be that you have relationship patterns formed by past experiences, such as family dynamics, or even a mistaken belief about how you deserve to be treated. Sometimes it can also be related to low self-esteem or the belief that you need to fix others. If you find yourself repeating these patterns, considering counseling or therapy can be a positive and transformative step. A professional can help identify the origins of these behaviors, teach strategies to improve self-esteem, and provide tools to make healthier decisions in future relationships. Having a safe space to express your emotions and concerns can be key to breaking harmful cycles. Additionally, investing in self-knowledge can help boost your confidence and better understand your own limits and needs. When you know and value yourself, it becomes easier to recognize red flags and not be swayed by behaviors that once seemed acceptable. This journey of self-discovery can also help you feel stronger and empowered to make choices that align with what you truly want in a relationship. Remember, seeking help and reflecting on what you deserve is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's an important step to ensure your future relationships are based on mutual respect and self-love. You deserve to be in a relationship where you feel happy, safe, and valued. So that's it, everyone. I hope this video has helped you recognize the signs of toxic behaviors and understand the importance of valuing yourself in a relationship. If you related to any of these topics or have an experience to share, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more tips and insights on relationships and self-development. Also, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and remember, you deserve the best.